You know, a lot of entrepreneurs fail with AI not because they're not smart enough, but because they're trying to learn the wrong skills for where they actually are in their AI journey. They're at stage 2 trying stage 4 techniques, or they're ready for stage 3 but they're stuck practicing stage 1 skills. There are 4 distinct stages of AI adoption, and knowing which skills to develop at your stage is the difference between frustration and momentum. Here's what a lot of people forget about AI. It's not magic, it's a skill. Just like learning Excel or public speaking or financial analysis, AI has a learning curve. And just like any skill, you can't skip the fundamentals. You wouldn't teach someone multiplication by starting with calculus, and you wouldn't teach someone to drive by putting them behind the wheel on a racetrack. The skills build on each other, and AI is the same way. There are foundational skills like writing clear prompts and understanding what AI can and can't do. And then there are intermediate skills like building reusable workflows and analyzing data. Then there are advanced skills like automation and system integration. And each stage builds on the one before it. But most AI content online doesn't tell you this. You watch a YouTube video about building custom GPTs and think, I should do that. But you haven't mastered prompting basics yet. Or you're watching intro to ChatGPT videos when you're actually ready to start building systems. Both of these waste your time, and both make AI feel harder than it needs to be. The fastest path to success? Know which stage you're at. Learn the skills for that stage, and then move forward. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. I'm Rob Fernango, and I've spent more than 26 years translating complex business data into strategies that actually work for real businesses. When I started using AI tools, I immediately saw the potential. I knew exactly what insights I wanted for my data. I knew exactly what analysis needed to happen, but I had to learn how to get AI to do what I do. I couldn't just tell ChatGPT, analyze my data like a 26-year veteran would. I had to learn how to structure prompts, how to feed it the right context, and how to ask the right questions. And once I figured it out, I automated my entire monthly business reporting. Now I save hours every month. The analysis gets done automatically, and I get strategic insights I can put into practice immediately. But I couldn't have built that system on day one. I had to develop the skills progressively, stage by stage. That's what we're covering today. The 4 stages, the skills you need at each one, and how to know which stage you're actually in. All right, stage 1 is the traditionalist. Now here's what it looks like. You're just getting started. Maybe you've heard about ChatGPT, clicked around once or twice, but you haven't really found a consistent use case yet. You're not opposed to AI, you're just not sure how it fits into what you're already doing. You're busy running your business, and AI feels like just another thing on your plate, and honestly, you're wondering if it's worth the learning curve. So what are the skills you need to develop at this stage? Let me break those down. You need basic prompting, which means learning how to ask AI questions in a way that gets useful answers. Not help me with marketing, but act as a marketing strategist and give me 5 Facebook ad headlines for a product that solves this specific problem, X. You need use case identification, which means figuring out which of your tasks are good candidates for AI. Is it responding to customer emails, summarizing reports, maybe planning some content? Here, you're building your mental list of, oh, I can use AI for that. And then you need expectation setting, which means understanding what AI can and can't do so you're not disappointed or overhyping it. These aren't complicated skills, but they're essential, because without these foundations, everything else is frustration. So what becomes possible at this stage? Well, when you develop these skills, you move from, I don't know what to do with AI to, oh, I can use AI for that. You get your first few time-saving wins, you draft an email in 2 minutes instead of 20, or summarize a report that you didn't have time to read. It's these small wins that prove AI works for your business. So what's the trap at this stage? Well, the trap for traditionalists is waiting. Waiting until you have more time, waiting until AI is easier, waiting until somebody shows you exactly how. But here's the thing. The best time to start is always now. Because while you wait, those small wins are adding up for other people. and small wins compound into big achievements. Stage 2 is the explorer. Now here's what that looks like. You've dipped your toes in the AI water. You've used AI to draft emails or brainstorm content ideas, maybe ask questions and get some great responses. You've had some "that's really cool" moments, but it's not consistent yet. You use it one day, then maybe forget about it for a week and remember and try something else. You're experimenting, but it's scattered. So what are the skills you need to develop at this stage? Well, you need prompt refinement, which means leaning into how to iterate on prompts to get better results. You don't just accept the first answer, you ask follow-up questions and adjust your wording to guide the AI towards what you actually need. It means saving what works, which means building a small library of prompts you can reuse. When you write a great prompt for customer onboarding emails, you save it. Next time, you won't need to start from scratch. And it means pattern recognition, which is noticing which types of tasks AI handles well for you and your business so you can lean into those. Maybe AI is great at brainstorming, but mediocre at final polish, or vice versa. You're learning your strengths as well as that of the tool. And this is where experimentation becomes execution. You're turning scattered wins into repeatable processes. Now, what becomes possible at this stage? Well, when you develop these skills, AI becomes part of your workflow, not something that you remember occasionally. You're saving real time every week because you're reusing what works. You're building confidence because you know how to get good results consistently. So what's the trap at this stage? Well, the trap for explorers is random experimentation without keeping track of what works. You try 10 different things, 3 of them work great, but then you forget what you asked or how you asked it. So next time, you have to start over. And the fix? It's saving your wins. Write down your best prompts. Build a tiny library, because once you start reusing what works, you're not an explorer anymore. You're a builder. Stage 3 is the builder. And here's what it looks like. You're using AI regularly and getting real value from it. You're drafting content, analyzing data, and solving problems with AI. But it's still reactive. Every time you need something, you're writing a new prompt from memory or tweaking an old one. You know AI works. You're just missing the structure to make it repeatable. So what are the skills you need to develop at this stage? Well, you need workflow design, which means learning how to turn your best AI processes into documented and repeatable workflows. Instead of, I usually ask AI to help with this, it becomes, here's my 5-step content creation workflow where AI handles steps 2, 3, and 5. It means template creation, which is building prompt templates or custom GPTs so that you're not starting from scratch. That customer onboarding email that you have to write every week, now it's a template you just fill in. And data analysis means using AI not just to generate content, but to interpret your business data and surface insights. You're asking, what trends do you see in my sales data instead of summarize the spreadsheet? This is the stage where you shift from AI helps me work to AI is part of how I work. So what becomes possible at this stage? Well, when you develop these skills, one-off wins become systems. That customer onboarding process you manually prompt for every time, now it's a template. That weekly reporting you do, now it takes 10 minutes instead of an hour. You're not working harder, you're building infrastructure. So what's the trap at this stage? Well, the trap for builders is staying in manual mode. You keep solving the same problems over and over because you haven't taken the time to document or automate your process. And the fix? Pick one task you do weekly and either templatize it or save the prompt or automate it using a tool like Zapier or Make. Just one. And suddenly, that task no longer requires your brain power every single time. And stage 4 is the Automator. Now here's what it looks like. AI is part of your business infrastructure. You've built systems, maybe some automations where AI connects to other tools. You're already ahead of most entrepreneurs. You're not just using ChatGPT to write emails. You've got custom GPTs handling repetitive prompts. You're not just looking at data, you're asking AI to analyze trends and suggest actions. You might even have workflows running in Make.com or Zapier where AI talks to your other tools automatically. So what are the skills you need to develop at this stage? Well, you need automation platforms, which means learning tools like Make or Zapier to connect AI to your business systems. When someone signs up for your email list, AI automatically drafts a welcome sequence. Or when sales data gets updated, AI generates a report without you lifting a finger. Advanced analysis means using AI to interpret trends, suggest actions, and provide strategic insights, not just summarize the data. You're asking, based on these patterns, what should I do next? And you're getting legitimately useful strategic guidance. And continuous improvement means staying current as AI tools evolve, refining your systems, and learning from other advanced users. This is where you go from AI saves me time to AI is a competitive advantage. So what becomes possible at this stage? Well, when you develop these skills, your business runs smoother while you work less. Workflows execute automatically, and strategic insights appear without you digging through the data. You're making better decisions faster, and you're staying ahead as AI evolves because you're part of a community pushing boundaries together. So what's the trap at this stage? Well, the trap for automators is doing it alone. You're advanced enough that most AI content feels too basic. So you stop learning from others and try to figure everything out yourself. But AI is changing every month. New features, new tools, new techniques. The fix is surrounding yourself with other people your level or higher who are pushing boundaries, sharing what works, and keeping each other sharp. Because even at stage 4, there's always a next level. All right, here's why understanding these stages matters. You can't skip them. Just like you can't learn calculus before algebra, you can't build automation systems before you know how to write good prompts. The skills stack on each other. And this is actually good news because it means there's a clear path forward. You don't have to learn everything at once. You just have to know where you are and what to focus on next. When people try to skip stages, they waste months. They watch advanced tutorials that they're not ready for. They buy tools they don't know how to use. They get frustrated and think, AI isn't for me. But the problem isn't AI. The problem is they tried to learn stage 4 skills when they were at stage 2. And the opposite is just as bad. Staying stuck at a lower stage when you're ready to move forward. You keep watching beginner content when you're ready to build systems. You keep manually doing tasks you could automate. You're holding yourself back without even realizing it. The fastest path forward is simple. Know your stage, develop the skills for that stage, and then move forward. Now you might be thinking, okay, I can probably figure out which stage I'm at on my own. Then maybe. But here's what I've seen teaching hundreds of students over the years. Self-diagnosis is surprisingly hard. Some people overestimate. They think they're further along than they are because they watched advanced content and it makes sense in the moment. It seems doable. And then they try it and they hit a wall because there are foundational skills that they skipped. I see this all the time. Someone watches a video about building custom automations. And they think, I can do that. Then they spend 2 weeks frustrated and they conclude that they're not technical enough. But they are technical enough. They just skipped stages 1, 2, and 3. Other people underestimate. They've been using AI regularly for months, but they still think they're just a beginner because they're not building custom GPTs yet. Meanwhile, they're actually ready to build entire systems. They just need to know that's the next step. Misunderstanding what stage you're in will cost you time. If you think you're a builder, but you're actually an explorer, you'll struggle with workflow design because your prompting fundamentals aren't solid yet. If you think you're an explorer, but you're actually a builder, you'll waste months on content that's too basic. So how do you get an accurate read? That's exactly why I created a short diagnostic quiz. It's called What's Your AI Next Step? And it does one thing really well. It tells you exactly which stage you're at based on your actual behavior, not your assumptions. It asks 7 questions about how you currently use AI in your business. Not how often do you think about using AI, but what do you actually do with it? And here's what happens when you take it. First, you'll find out your stage, whether you're a traditionalist, explorer, builder, or an automator. No guessing, just an accurate diagnosis based on your actual behavior. Second, you'll get 3 specific next steps, the exact actions to focus on at your stage, not generic advice, but a personalized roadmap. Third, I'll send you a practical resource to help you take that first next step. It might be a guide to better prompting, a checklist of common mistakes, or a framework for systematizing your workflows, whatever matches your stage. It takes 2 minutes, it's 7 questions, and it's free. Go to f1analytics.com/your AI next steps, or click the link in the description. Get your diagnosis, get your roadmap, and start developing the skills that move you forward. All right, here's what I want you to remember. AI is a skill, and like any skill, it has a learning curve. You develop it progressively, stage by stage. Wherever you are right now, whether it's Traditionalist, Explorer, Builder, or Automator, that's exactly where you need to be. 3 years ago, none of us were using AI at all, and certainly not using it like we do today. The fact that you're here, learning, means you're already on the right path, my friend. The only question that matters now is, what's your next step? And that starts with knowing your current stage in your AI journey. So take the quiz, get your diagnosis, and start developing the skills that actually move you forward. If this was helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for weekly videos on using AI for business analytics and automation. I'll see you in your quiz results.